And the A-Team, they're going to start us off on Volskaya. Now, here's an interesting point there. You saw there the stats for the most played hero for the player that we worked out, as far as we can tell, it seems to be taken from Hero League or just general accounts.
Yeah.
So what we saw there for Olele is his most played hero is the Lost Vikings. This is the map where we saw Tempo Storm bust out the Lost Vikings.
Now, hold up, Tetra. Are you suggesting a Lost Vikings here?
I'm saying that the possibility is a non-zero amount.
Okay. I'll give you the 1%. I'm not willing to give you more than that.
I'm gonna give it 8. I'm gonna give it that little.
Wow,
if
all right.
nothing comes out that could really wreck them, we could see him as a last pick kind of thing.
All right, maybe I'll give you 3. 1 for each Viking.
Okay.
But that's about it. You're not gonna get more from me.
In that case, I'll round mine up to 9, so at least they all get 3. Because otherwise it's unfair.
All right, the Lost Vikings indeed, have become a rare sight. I think it's probably the hero, if you can call them a hero. It's probably the heroes that haven't really been changed in a minor or major way for the longest, or one of those heroes. Like they have been.
The most recent change came out of Blizzard forgetting about them. That is the most recent change to the Vikings, where they basically changed the fact that towers had ammo and forgot that Eric had an ability that removed ammo from towers. So they had to actively change its sabotage, the ability, because they forgot it was a thing. That is how recently the Vikings have been changed.
So are you saying the Vikings are truly lost right now?
At the moment, they appear in the meta every now and again.
Right.
They are viable, but not popular. We can start off with the Garrosh and the Decker. That is a solid opening by the A-Team.
That is a solid opening indeed here. You basically take away one of the strongest supports with Raynor, which is the Decker Kane. Not because he can empower Decker Kane like a Morales could, for example, but because he has that consistent healing instance. Raynor is not really, the most mobile of assassins that will run away and dodge your potions whenever possible. It is super good, super reliable healing. But man, TeamNut, they're not messing around. They're showing us the early Alarak. Could that be either, them taking a page of the A-Team's book, who played Alarak yesterday, or could it be a, precaution measure here to take away the Alarak from Bruiser, I believe, played him yesterday because he was looking so darn scary on it.
They have played the Alarak before. They did lose, but they have played it before. But like you said, seeing that played by the A-Team yesterday, I can see the logic in stealing it away. There is also the factor of TeamNut have to win both their series today, and one of them is against like the 1 or something like that.
They play against BTG later.
They play against BTG, which is very, very difficult. So it might be the situation where they're looking at these games and be like, well, we have nothing to lose, so we might as well just try something a little bit out of the ordinary and see if we can get some good blow-ups.
So basically, go High Lord or go home is the motto for this one. Because with the Alarak, you can always have those lucky punches. And they're doing it again! The A-Team, they're relying on the Zul'jin even without Alarak this time around. But they're saying, you know what? It worked so darn well yesterday. On this very map, by the way, it was Volskaya in which they dominated CE. They're just doing it again. That is not correct. Production, shame on you. They won yesterday with that Zul'jin. It's not a 0% win rate.
I mean, I'm kind of surprised, kind of annoyed that TeamNut stole Alarak, because I realized the most obvious joke I could have made yesterday, but I'm going to do it anyway. Acceptable. But seeing it return once again, this time with the Thrall instead of the Alarak, so they have something like, still have a pretty good CC frontliner to set up and try and zone for it, and they go for a second Bruiser anyway, very similar to the last draft, good frontlining to protect that Zul'jin.
Yeah.
But Karazim, good single target damage, good focus, could even bring out a Palm if he wants to try and
bring out the Earth
keep his
ally
team alive that
for
way.
more...
Earth allies fantastic, but 7-sided onto Garrosh as well. If there's no front line, Zul'jin's going to have a bad time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, can they do it again? Can they deliver all those axes to their opponents like they did yesterday against CE? Arguably the better team when compared to TeamNut. However, it is still the Zul'jin factor. He can work like a charm, or he can get pummeled so that he will look like he won't have any effect on the game whatsoever.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, Volskaya Foundry is about to become a chopping block. The question is, whose head is about to go down onto it? If TeamNut can't take a 2-0 here, they are pretty much guaranteed last place. There is nothing they can do about that. In fact, yeah, if they don't win 2-0, they are guaranteed last place. They have to win in the playoffs to get through. The A-Team, they're trying to create some space between themselves and KT and try to catch up to RPG.
So there's a lot of pressure onto TeamNut right now. It could be a blessing for them to see that Zul'jin, but it could also be their downfall because CE probably felt very good about themselves when they faced that nasty hero yesterday, but they had to pay the blood price for underestimating him. Now, TeamNut, can they hold the onslaught? As Tetris said, every win matters, every single game to them could be the last one when it comes to making it out of last place or keeping the race up. Ladies and gentlemen, in the left-hand side, it is TeamNut with Mercy, Atui, Malthael, Nightmare, and Dia.
And on the right, it is the A-Team with LK, Olele, Bruiser, Stugos, and Yitzcook. And they've brought out a large variety of melee weapons with a mace, axes, a hammer, and a whatever a gore howl is, and also a stick.
I would call that a great axe.
Great axe is a good one, yeah. I think that is a good one. Not a glaive, because it's not a reach weapon, but... Well, technically, he's just got an engine on a stick with this skin, so... so it still counts. Either way, we're starting off same builds as yesterday from pretty much everyone, but we are seeing Crash Lightning. We are seeing the Consume Vitality from the Leoric. Very interesting. I only really see this talent usually on Infernal Shrines, so that's kind of cool to see. And we're seeing the Neural Stim Pack coming in from Blaze.
Right, as this very horde-heavy team, actually, if you think about it, from the A-Team, is already trying to rotate as fast as they can. They find a lonely Decker Kane. Stugos in a lot of trouble, but, you know, with reinforcements appearing at his side, Murden now all of a sudden becoming the hunted, and first blood goes over to the A-Team. Beautifully done. I mean, that's one of those common mistakes I feel that a lot of the lower teams in China, not just in China, but in general, make when they see a Decker Kane. They underestimate his slipperiness and his escape mechanisms, right? He doesn't really have a fancy dash or a flashy jump, but he has that consistent healing. As long as there's allies nearby, he gains 10 armor, and he will drop those potions, which gives him so much self-sustain and makes him much harder to kill than you initially think when you see that old man.
Dia getting melted away for the moment. LK remounts up. He's having a pretty decent time already in this top lane. Not so bad at all. As we see Olele and Stugos, they're going to take down the fortification camp, preparing for the objective. TeamNut, they did get there significantly earlier, though, so the question is, will we see a battle over this biotic emitter? The answer is probably yes. With TeamNut currently having a man advantage, they might try and make the play now, but look how quickly LK is respawning. Early game Leorixio.
If you zap the life juice away from your opponents while in Ghost form, you're going to come back super fast. And look at that, Leorki already back in business here. Garrosh checking out the perimeter. He's the only hero on the side of the A-Team that could have probably done that in the first place. Yitzcook starting off that healing camp, but I think it's just a bait here. I think they want to engage. I think they want to let their opponents come into this gap and then engage on them with that short period of time that they had with level 4 advantage.
Voodoo Shuffle coming in for Olele. Doesn't want to get himself locked down that often. You can see him just stuttering away, though. They need to try and get Nightmare off this point, though. They did it. Oh, Nightmare's back on, though. Dia diving in. Aggressive place here. LK needs to actually land that Great Hope turret. Has been used, but only from one side. As we see the retreat pulling back. Stugos being very patient with his good potion, but not enough to save Yitzcook. As so many low members of Lele is charging forward. There's a good scroll of ceiling, but it's going to end up being a 3-for-1 in favor of TeamNut. They immediately, unnecessarily dropped the biotic emitter. Have you heard of porting?
Yeah, so the explanation behind this maneuver, of course, wasting the item after you've won it with a lot of blood, sweat, and tears is a little weird. The thought process behind it was maybe that they didn't want to teleport back because that would have cost time, you know, that would have taken a lot of the momentum away, that would have taken experience away potentially, so they maybe wanted to stay in the rotations and wanted to stay in the fight, but it's still weird.
But they just used every item. Now they're down an item, and with the A-Team approaching level 6, the A-Team could actually fight over this again.
They probably didn't have fountains, to be honest.
Maybe? I mean, they could have just poured it back to base.
Like, for the exact same reason the healing fountains are so important, right? They prevent you from wasting time. But maybe they've used those before. Maybe they didn't really have the mindset to do it. It's a little bit of a mystery here. I will not disagree with you, because even if they had teleported back, they could have come back with full HP bars and then enforced their way here on this platform with that healing pulse. They don't have it anymore, and as such, they're going down rather rapidly here against the onslaught from the A-Team. Down goes
Turret is used. They move in pre-7, and as such, the A-Team crushed through this, almost getting the double kill, but a 2E able to dash away. But that was a convincing fight by the A-Team. That turret is starting to run down in duration. As such, we quickly see Bruiser and Olele. Looks like just Olele, in fact, is going to move in and take down that camp so that they have another one in preparation. So both teams will have these fortification camps, and both teams will be level 7 as the A-Team tick it over thanks to Thrall and Leoric.
Yep, both teams will have that turret, as you said. This one is pretty weakened and will run out shortly here. TeamNut, they don't have much time left. Already 60%. The A-Team has caught up in progress here. They drop another turret immediately. Both turrets being deployed, actually. And no healing pulses available. So this all comes down to who has the better support, who has the better sustain to keep that fight rolling.
Bruiser takes some good damage. More Crash Lightning stacks being acquired, though. The turret of the A-Team is already killed off the one of TeamNut. It's still alive. A long duration left, but not much health. Finally killed off by Zul'jin. 99 to 67 in favor of the A-Team as a lot of members drop low. They have Fountain. They're just going to pop back. As long as Bruiser survives here, yes he does, into the fray. They're turning around before Bruiser's even healed yet, but they pick up the kill anyway on Terrainer. And Nightmare dropping very low as well. Yitzcook giving chase. Can they chase him down and finish the kill? Looks like no, as Muradin is able to escape. Yep, escape, as the Protector is picked up by the A-Team.
That was actually a huge twin cleave coming in from Olele on that Zul'jin. It hit almost the entire enemy team. It slowed them down as well. It allowed other members to basically close in on them as well. And although the early stage of that Protector fight didn't really look so good for the A-Team, they came back, they took a healing fountain, they played it patiently, and they waited for the right moment to strike. Great win for them. Let's see what they can make use of it here. They go for that middle fort, with the Protector absorbing most of those shots. Zul'jin has free reign and delivers his deadly auto attacks. Speaking of deadly auto attacks, Cars, he needs to be super careful.
Dropping low, they chase him down. There's the damage. Where's the Scorching Ray for the final blow up? It misses. And Karazim able to sneak away into the night.
Into the night of Volskaya.
Yes, where it is never night. For some reason.
Yeah, that is correct.
Why does nobody question this? As we see LK
my immersion, I can't play it! Like games like this, Blizzard.
Oh dear. As we see the Protector finished off. The couple towers mid-4, pretty decent value early on. Much the Black King just dropped the unstoppable effect, and as such, LK will back up.
It looked a little goofy. It looked a little silly, I will admit, but it was actually the only viable method of Leoric to make it to safety, because there was still an Alarak. He could have swapped him in, he could have then silenced him most likely, and prevented him from using the Wraith Walk and the March of the Black King. So, a defensive usage here, but, you know, every now and then you're going to have to think outside the box and actually use your heroic abilities like that. So, good move by them. Yitzcook now out of position, 7-sided is melting Garrosh, but he receives the Sailfield and the potion from Deckard just in time.
Lornado comes in, but it doesn't catch anyone. This was more of a disengage tool, but it takes a while to wind up. And Yitzcook survived anyway, because somehow, as LK moves back into lane to continue soaking.
Right up to this point, the game is rather even still, although the A-Team, of course, they have managed to sneak away with a little bit of a lead here in terms of structures. The middle fort had been demolished earlier. But TeamNut, you know, they're not defeated up to this point just yet. They continue to do their items, which is exactly what they need. The healing pulse was taken over by the A-Team, though. Stugos picked that one up after the nice turnaround in the top lane, in which Garrosh was able to survive almost in a miracle.
Now such Olele is able to pick up the fortification camp. A lot of pressure being added onto
Nice
Yitzcook, but a sundering from above. The two-man Warlords challenge as they look to try and put some pressure on. They actually dodge the counter-strike mostly, but Olele, look at his positioning. He doesn't want to get himself caught out. LK is absolutely dead here. March of the Black King, not enough to save him.
I guess that was the perfect moment for Karzim to unleash the 7-sided. You trade a relatively low cooldown heroic ability for a safe kill on Leorki, and you are walking away not only with a nice chunk of experience, but also with a one-man lead in terms of, you know, how many people you have available right now. Looks like Blaze is in trouble, surrounded, no way left for him to escape, actually. They need to close in the gaps. He stays alive for a little bit longer, though. The healing pulse is used as well.
LK already back to life is being a great distraction for the team. Consume Vitality value. Turret is being dropped, but into the fray. Bruiser picks up the kill. Lightning incoming. One more kill.
Whoa.
And they get the quadra kill.
I mean, even in death, Leoric is a valuable asset to his team, and we've seen all that value coming in with that ghastly swing after he, in his Undying Fort, he slowed the entire enemy team of TeamNut, prevented them from running away, and got themselves even more kills. And already, the Skeleton King is back to soak experience.
LK has spent a lot of time this game soaking experience, and as such has done a great job of giving his team a full level lead. As the A-Team, like, they're trolling and they're winning. That is exactly what they're doing right now. This Zul'jin is working so effectively for them in 2 games in a row right now. How far can this go before you ban Zul'jin?
That is a good question.
It feels weird inside to have to say those words. Good start with the Storm.
It's not even like they don't have any counterplay to the Zul'jin, right? They have Karzin with the Earth ally, diminishing most of his auto attack damage. They should have enough crowd control to actually keep him, at bay. Look at that Alrek, by the way, going in here, but they don't even have to use the Tazdingo. I mean, Decker Kane is just keeping the troll alive so well.
For all intents and purposes, this should not work, but the axes keep flying and the people keep dying as we see Raider take it out.
Beautiful poem there by Tetcher Spear, I want to call you right now.
Tetcher Spear? Tazding Spear? A poem by Zul'jin. The axes keep flying. I can't do a troll voice at all. We need the push in. Putting pressure on. Your troll voice is great, so yeah, we need some troll poetry from you at some point later.
Oh, we all need troll poetry. I'm pretty sure it would be beautiful.
Indeed. There you go, Blizzard. Add a poet troll into
for next Valentine's Day.
Next Warcraft expansion. Yes, absolutely.
Roses are red.
For Warcraft. LK moves forward. Oh. Okay. Looking for any angle. 7-sided being used. That was an interesting march, but the Warlord's challenge is a little better as they look forward to turn around onto Raider as the target once again. Lord Ado is gorgeous. Atui very nearly steals away the healing pulse in the background, but Dia going to be able to die. Actually, he's absolutely dead. Oh, oil value.
And that's what happens when the Grievous Throw connects. There's a lot of damage going down. In the meanwhile, we completely forgot about the Protector. It's still available. It's still there for the taking, but teams were so focused on brawling into one another, they're actually going to have the objective right now. Only now it comes. Look at that. Raynor is still dead. He was the first one to fall. The Protector still looking mighty healthy. Here's 74% health left available for him. And I think that might be a keep, actually. Only now does Raynor arrive, and he doesn't even have his heroic ability yet. Actually gets pummeled right off the get-go here. Needs a lot of taking care from Karzin.
They pushed in the keep down. It will fall. It's the Protector punched it down. Also, I realized I said all-intensive when it's all intents and purposes, I believe. I'm not the best at English literature at all.
All right, Tetcher, that keep is down. No questions asked by Zul'jin.
Yeah, they've run out of duration on the Protector, so as such, not going to go in for the second here. But they do weaken the tower a bit. That is a big dive. In comes both Thrall and LK here, looking for the turnaround to help Yeetskook survive and absorb some of that damage. The March of the Black King, this time, very effective, but some of the damage was blocked by that bunker as they charge forward. Root from Thrall doesn't land, but Dia decides to donate himself anyway.
Oh, he landed that one, and with hopelessness, I think he can actually keep it all the way up here. The conveyor belt actually crippling Jimmy, preventing him from escaping the grasp of LK on that Leoric, and they take down 2 members yet again. The A-Team is still on a roll here. Save Private Thrall, though. Can they do it? Ominous Wraith.
Bruiser looks pretty fine. They jump forward, though. He gets the root for the Frostwolf Resilience. He's stuck on the Travelator. He turns it round. Nightmare gets tossed in, and that Wrecking Ball wrecks the Muradin.
Behind enemy lines, there was even a fort. They were caught between a fort and the tower line of TeamNut, but the A-Team doesn't seem to care. They're on a mission, and they brought it to a successful end. I mean, that is just insane. What are we seeing here, Tetcher?
We are seeing the double success of the Zul'jin. He's on 31 stacks. He's completed. I believe that's a 30-stack quest, right?
You might actually be correct here.
I'm trying to find it somewhere. I don't know where it is.
And as if things weren't going poorly enough for TeamNut, they also now face a composition with you know, Taz Dingo with that Thrall that has so much single target damage on structures as well. So whenever they lose heroes, whenever they lose members, they can almost bank their securities on that the enemy team will capitalize on that and take even more structures in their absence. So super dangerous position that TeamNut finds themselves in now.
100 is attacked 150 times and there is no cap. So yeah, he's completed the
right.
quest, but obviously there's no cap on this. So he's just going to keep getting more and more powerful on this Zul'jin. Speaking of getting more and more powerful, Alarak has gone for the pure malice at level 13. Doing his best Zap Brannigan impression. Die for me, you cowards, as he wants to get more and more damage.
Well, Lele, who's going to stop that troll train here? Up to this point, the protection... I mean, we keep talking a lot about Zul'jin and his efficiency in those skirmishes, right? But we can't forget about the fact that without Decker Kane, I don't think this strategy would be viable at all. Only Decker Kane drops enough consistent healing on a single target for Zul'jin to always have his trait active. Then, of course, we can't forget about the Ancient Blessing. So much lifesteal, and of course the extra attack damage as well. It cannot be undervalued of how much value and how much efficiency Stugos adds in these team fights.
Also, you saying Troll Train makes me 100% want a photoshopped album cover of, or like a photoshopped art of Troll Train instead of Soul Train with you want Sax on the front cover.
Oh man, make it a reality. There's so much potential with this.
Good luck, chat. You guys, I will be happy to retweet if that gets sent to me, LK.
Oh dear.
Get pulled in. There's the silence. LK turning around. Beautiful Sunder. And that's going to be, once again, a dead Muradin.
Yep. Magni Muradin says goodbye and faces Azeroth once again. There's no way that this was any situation for him to be salvaged with, but it all started with Bruiser and a magnificent Sundering. He's trying his best to actually stay on the conveyor belt again, but yeah, that Sundering was perfect. Why? It didn't really secure any more kills, but the Muradin was completely isolated. 4 people off TeamNut were completely shoved to the side, and then, of course, it was all she wrote for Muradin completely by himself. He expected maybe a little bit of support, maybe a little bit of additional damage from his teammates. You can't go in when you're sundered away, though.
Fortification camp stolen away with no Muradin. There is no way to raid this. Leorix grabbing the Protector. That's going to give him level 20. This is disastrous. With one keep already down and catapults accumulating top lane, this might just end the game right now.
This could very well end the game. I mean, it's probably going to take too much time for the A-Team to rotate and shuffle all the way to the top, which is the only naked lane they have right now. But still, with that power, with that manpower coming in from Thrall, Zul'jin, and the Protector, they're going to have more than enough damage to actually just melt down those structures. Look at how quickly they fall, and look how scared TeamNut is of that Protector. And rightfully so. One lockdown, one fist here coming in could make all the difference.
Cleansing Touch having to be used, but Mercy is still dropping down here. Unfortunately, the Protector did abandon the fort, and it counts as a hero, so this will not take the aggro from Stugos. But Stugos potions up, keeps himself alive, and they begin to move on to the core.
They're moving in. Don't make the mistake that CE made yesterday, Olele. Keep focusing on that core, because if you focus too much on the heroes, you might lack some damage. But Raynor falls, Alarak falls. Scratch that, Olele. Have some fun with a Muradin. Try to improve your KDA a little bit more. He's just auto-attacking to his heart's content. Gets done in the meantime, but can he catch the dwarf? Nope, he jumps to safety.
But the core will not be safe, as that is a 3-4-0. Olele burns it down with the help of the Protector, Bruiser, and Stugos. That is a game number 1 going over to